Have you ever wondered about the limits of human potential? What if I told you there's a reality just a few steps away from science fiction, where humans could live under the sea? Yes, I'm talking about breathing underwater, no scuba tanks, no cumbersome equipment, just like fish. Imagine this: cities submerged beneath the waves, schools surrounded by coral reefs, highways filled not with cars but with people swimming like dolphins. Crazy, right? Well, hold on to your snorkels. Let's dive in. What if humans could breathe underwater? To understand the implications of this hypothetical scenario, we first need to know why we can't breathe underwater in the first place. Our lungs are structured to exchange gases effectively in air, not in water. Oxygen exists in water, but it's spread out in extremely small concentrations, about 1% compared to the air we breathe, which is made up of roughly 21% oxygen. Fish, on the other hand, extract oxygen using gills, which are specialized organs for extracting dissolved oxygen from water. So, could humans grow gills? Or could bioengineering make underwater breathing possible? Let's first explore the evolutionary road. To develop gills, we'd need millions of years of evolutionary pressure, like living exclusively in submerged environments. It's highly unlikely, but not impossible if Earth's environment changed drastically. For example, if rising sea levels submerged most land masses, humans might have no choice but to adapt or go extinct. But let's be honest. Who's got millions of years to wait? We're an impatient species. That's where science swoops in with some fascinating ideas. Scientists and inventors have already begun conceptualizing technology that mimics the oxygen-extracting power of gills. One such concept involves artificial gills, small, wearable devices that extract dissolved oxygen from water and feed it directly into your bloodstream. While it sounds far-fetched, we already have prototypes at hand, though they're far from perfect. Current challenges include making these devices compact, sustainable, and energy efficient, but they're not out of the realm of possibility. Another idea could actually come from nature itself. Researchers are looking at marine animals like sea turtles, which can hold their breath for long periods, and even insects that trap bubbles of air around them to breathe underwater temporarily. Could genetic engineering allow us to mimic this biological ingenuity? Imagine if humans could create an internal air bubble naturally, kind of like a built-in scuba system. But the story doesn't end with scientific advancements. There would be massive cultural and societal changes if humans could breathe underwater. First, cities wouldn't be limited to land. Underwater metropolises could become a reality. Instead of skylines, we'd have sea scrapers, towering structures rooted to the ocean floor. Think about it. No more traffic congestion. Instead, synchronized swimming lanes. Schools could be embedded in coral reefs, fostering an eco-friendly educational environment where we learn side by side with sea creatures. Submerged farming could take on a whole new scale in underwater ecosystems. Kelp forests could become the new wheat fields, and agricultural innovations would adapt to this watery terrain. But it's not all utopian bliss. There are challenges to consider. Imagine navigating giant ocean predators. Would sharks view us as competitors or potential prey? And what happens to our communication underwater? Vocal cords don't work well beneath the ocean's surface, so society might shift to developing better sign languages or technologies that enable sound transmission through water. Now comes the environment. Breathing underwater would mean a closer relationship with marine ecosystems. But would this be symbiotic or destructive? Humans have a history of exploiting natural resources. Could we endanger marine life as we establish ourselves in their habitats? Would coral reefs serve as the basis for underwater cities, or would they be destroyed in the process? This is a critical question because, as we've seen, human industrialization has already caused damage to our oceans through pollution, overfishing, and climate change. If our species were to relocate to life underwater, we could bring those same destructive tendencies with us, or we might finally learn to coexist sustainably with our environment. Now let's look at the economies of such a world. The cost of developing underwater technologies would initially be astronomical, but innovation often becomes cheaper as adoption grows. Mining for treasures beneath the sea, like rare minerals, could become a booming industry. However, this could lead to political tensions, wars, or exploitation as countries and corporations vie for ownership of underwater territories. Interviewing economists would pose questions like, who owns the ocean? Does private property underwater make sense? On the positive side, underwater energy sources could flourish. Tidal and wave energy are abundant and underutilized. Breathing underwater could spur innovation in creating cleaner, renewable energy sources, harnessing the power of the endless tides around us. On the flip side, we'd have to rethink fashion, a lesser but amusing consideration. Would waterproof clothing rule the day? How would hairstyling work underwater? Would long hair become a liability or a sign of beauty if it resembled flowing kelp? Our sense of time and seasonal changes might also shift. There's no sunrise or sunset deep in the oceans. Would we need artificial lighting to keep our circadian rhythms in check? A whole industry might arise around creating homes that simulate both the sea's tranquility and the comforts of the terrestrial surface. Now, before you pack your bags or scuba masks for an underwater future, remember this: no hypothetical scenario is free from challenges. Adapting to underwater life would fundamentally alter what it means to be human. Living in the depths would require immense sacrifices and innovation. But here's the thing. Every great leap in civilization has arisen out of challenges, and who's to say it couldn't happen again? If there's one thing we've learned through history, it's that human persistence knows no bounds. Who knows? One day, with the right mix of science and circumstance, we might just be an underwater species. What do you think? Could humans learn to breathe underwater? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button to bring more what-if scenarios to life. Let's keep dreaming, keep questioning, and keep evolving. See you in the next episode of What If Facts.